Hook. Imagine grabbing a handful of Reese's Pieces at the movie theater and not worrying about dairy rules at all. Yes, we are talking Pareve candy magic, and it just dropped into your snack game like a surprise plot twist. What's up, everyone? Today we are diving into a small change with surprisingly big ripple effects. Reese's Pieces have become Kosher Pareve. That means they are not dairy anymore, which sounds tiny, but in the world of kosher certification, it's a clear, dramatic shift that changes how a lot of people can enjoy snacks. First, the core shift. Reese's Pieces were previously labeled OUD, indicating dairy status. Hershey decided to remove the dairy from the recipe, and OU Kosher, the Orthodox Union's certification arm, greenlit them as OU Pareve. In plain terms, you can eat them after meat without the usual dairy weight, and you can even pair them more freely with meat dishes on Shabbat or holidays. That's the practical punchline. Personally, I think what makes this interesting isn't just the label change. It's about consumer autonomy meeting infrastructure. Hershey listening to what a broad base of snackers want, then a certification body recalibrating what it validates. It's a reminder that food laws aren't just about ingredients, they are about social norms, dining habits, and a lot of people's everyday choices. Now, let's break down the bigger angles, because this isn't just a candy story. Idea A, the economics and supply chain of Pareve becoming more common. Reese's Pieces Pareve status comes amid Hershey's broader product shifts, including changes to other candy lines due to cocoa costs. The trend hints at how cost pressures can cascade into labeling and certification decisions. What this means is, Pareve isn't just a label, it can unlock new markets for bakers, cooks, and retailers who previously avoided dairy in certain recipes. From my perspective, this is less about best before dates and more about expanding the kitchen's universe for observant eaters and casual snackers alike. What's fascinating here is the social calculus. How much do you alter a beloved product to fit a broader audience, and who bears the cost? The takeaway is that consumer desire and cost dynamics are converging in real time, reshaping what ends up on your plate. Idea B, the cultural ripple on Shabbat and Cholof Yisrael observance. Pareve status means more flexibility for those who observe meat-dairy separation and milk-of-milk rules with stricter interpretations. It's not just about sweets, it's about the choreography of meals, desserts, and timing. A person might now be able to enjoy Reese's Pieces with a meat-based Shabbat meal without the usual fasting the dharmic dairy gap. This matters because small changes in what's labeled Pareve can reduce cognitive and logistical frictions in traditional cooking, making kosher meal planning more approachable. What many people don't realize is that Pareve items can act as neutral anchors in a meal, letting households mix and match without rerunning the dairy countdown. If you take a step back, you see how a candy could subtly shift daily ritual planning across communities. Idea C, certification authority and trust. OU Kosher faced internal debates about whether to announce Pareve status before packaging updates, weighing authority against consumer clarity. They chose to prioritize welfare, letting people know the status change even if packaging hadn't caught up. This reveals a larger pattern. Certifiers often juggle immediacy, accuracy, and consumer trust. My take: this move reinforces that certification bodies aren't just stamplers, they are crisis communicators who must weigh timing against potential confusion. A detail I find fascinating is how a label's absence, or delay, can stir anxiety or anticipation online, as fans debate what counts as really Pareve. It connects to a bigger trend of real-time food labeling in an era of social media scrutiny. Idea D, the broader media moment and the forwards framing. The article ties the Reese's Pareve update to other global frictions: antisemitism, Middle East conflict, high gas prices. It, in a sense, plants a small, relatable bright spot in a noisy world. What this really suggests is that food news can function as cultural micronews, tiny wins that give communities something tangible to rally around. My opinion: Those moments matter because they humanize complex issues and offer common ground, even if the main headline remains global conflict or policy battles. It's snack culture meeting identity politics in a surprisingly productive way. Deeper insight, the Pareve shift nudges consumer imagination. If a classic candy can toggle from dairy to Pareve, what other everyday products could follow? The implications reach kitchen experiments, bakery menus, and home cooks who want simpler pastry builds without chasing dairy-free substitutes. A step further, this could inspire a wave of Pareve-friendly innovations in holiday baking, giving more chewy, crunchy, and chocolate options to Pareve-friendly recipes. What this means for the market is subtle but real: more inclusive product development, more precise labeling, and a culture that's increasingly comfortable negotiating dietary rules in everyday shopping. Closing thought, the Reese's Pieces Pareve moment is a reminder that small shifts in ingredients and certification can ripple through daily life in meaningful ways. It's not just a label, it's about accessibility, community, and how modern snacks adapt to the values and routines of a diverse audience. If you're watching this and you're part of a kitchen crew or a bakery, ask yourself, what other minor changes could unlock bigger belonging or reduce friction for people observing different food rules? One last thought, in a world full of big geopolitical headlines, these tiny culinary wins are a kind of resilience, proof that culture can adjust, even in small bites. Question for the audience: what everyday product would you like to see become Pareve, or have its certifying status updated? And why do you think it would matter for your meals or gatherings?